So now we are on to the markets with Leighton. Leighton, you're looking today into the future of the chicken business.
That's right, Artis. A financial services company with some ties to agriculture says some changes are necessary in that sector. Also ahead this week, cattle trade is described by some as sluggish at times. U.S. pork exports to Mexico are growing, while soybean prices are said to be more dependent than ever on the weather. A new report from California-based ag lender Rabobank says the chicken industry is facing permanent changes. Rabobank's poultry economists say that sector will face higher and more volatile feed input costs. Their research suggests the U.S. chicken industry must develop new products for export markets. Rabobank also warns of increasing government regulation. The new report says the operating environment for the poultry industry has changed forever. Drover's Cattle Network reports new buyers continue to enter the feeder cattle market this week, yet futures were at contract or all-time highs at Wednesday's close. Analysts say the ability of this market to make such a move in the face of historically high cash corn prices is very impressive. Extension Ag economist John Michael Riley provided some further analysis of the entire beef sector for us during a recording Thursday morning. John Michael, are you surprised at how well the cattle sector is doing right now as we begin 2012?
Shouldn't be too much of a surprise to anyone. You know, talked for a number of months about the tight supply situation that the industry has been in, continues to be in. So that has led to stronger prices. I'm not going to say higher prices. We have been at higher points than in 2011, but we're still seeing strong prices across, you know, all segments of the industry, which is positive for producers out there in the state.
And of course, feeder cattle seem to be really in the spotlight as we record this on Thursday morning. Corn prices have come down a little bit more.
Corn prices have definitely helped to keep that number up. Stronger live cattle prices as well are feeding that. So in terms of feeder cattle prices, it is looking good to start 2012.
What are we looking for as supply, inventories? I know we had so much liquidation back in 2011 due to the drought in parts of the United States, but how is that shaping up?
It has definitely continued to impact the market. If you look at Mississippi auction volumes throughout 2011, those were down about 10% for the year. So it wasn't just something that impacted the Southern Plains. We dealt with some drought as well. Of course, now 2010 was a really high year, a lot of liquidation here in the state. So numbers are down across the nation. They're down in Mississippi as well, and that's leading to some strength in prices. Demand is obviously something that is on the other side of that equation that we need to be concerned about, but it's looking, right now, it's not looking like that's a total disaster. So a lot of positives out there right now.
So at this point, it would appear on the retail side, so far not a whole lot of pushback by consumers.
Not looking like it. Restaurant performance is good, so we'll continue to see how this thing shapes out as we move throughout 2012.
Continuing now in the livestock sector, the U.S. Meat Export Federation says it is working to increase demand in Mexico for U.S. pork. The Federation's regional director, Chad Russell, says that country cannot produce enough pork domestically to meet the demand there. U.S. pork exports to Mexico have risen dramatically, hitting nearly $1 billion worth last year. Per capita consumption of pork in Mexico is reportedly standing at about 33 pounds per year. That compares to about 60 pounds per year here in the United States. Well, we'll pause for a moment to look at a trivia question for you now. And here it is. The question deals with row crops this week. What country grows the most cotton? Your answer is one of these: India, the United States, Russia, or China. I'll tell you the answer in just a few more minutes. It's the growing season out in the southern hemisphere. Analysts say continued dry, hot weather there is helping soybean futures. Traders note that the weather situation is keeping beans from losing ground and will, in fact, determine where prices head as the new year of 2012 progresses.
I would say a lot of it is going to be dependent on weather. I'd say without weather problems around the world, what we really were looking at until the last month is a market that was 2 steps down, 1 up, as world supplies around the world were starting to grow. and South America was, we came into some real weather problems there. You know, they've continued to accentuate themselves. We're cutting the production, and so, you know, the upside is probably limited if we get moisture there, and the downside is still, you know, a big question mark if we have bigger acres and we have decent weather here. But I would say it's all about acres, all about weather around the world.
Well, the poor economy continues to impact Mississippi's forest products industry in a negative way. Lately, a North Mississippi sawmill is closing, at least temporarily. Hankins Lumber of Elliott, Mississippi, ceased operations January 6th, according to the Grenada Star newspaper. Office manager Jerry Pegg said the operations will be suspended until the lumber market improves. Pegg said the shutdown could last up to 6 months. It will affect the majority of that company's 150 employees. Wrapping it up now with a visit back to our trivia quiz this week. The correct choice is D. China grows the most cotton of any country in the world.